Hi, I'm John Rowland, and I'm with Highland Lapidary, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Freestanding EverClean. Now, what we did with this unit, which is a little bit convoluted because we're using it on a core drill right now, and we've got some extra pumps on it, but the basic unit is a tank, a steel tank, a pump, and a centrifuge. And the way this works is that you get your dirty oil and you can dump it into the tank from a saw, and then the pump will pump it up into the EverClean. And that essentially what happens there is that it pumps it into this chamber. When it's spinning, then it's collecting the mud. So if I push my finger in here, the mud packs against the sidewall until it's full. When it's full, basically it'll be flush right here. And then we pull the can out and clean it out and go again. Now, the other way you can use this is you can put your pump, set your pump up in your saw and pump the oil directly down into the EverClean, which means everything you pump out of the saw is going right into this centrifuge and getting cleaned immediately. And then once all your oil's down in this tank, you can either, use a bucket and use a bucket to put it back up in the saw, or the easiest thing to do is you just lift the lid off this EverClean, set it up in your saw. Now, I'm just using the core drill as an example here. But then you would turn the main unit off, and you would simply just plug in the pump. So you would take the pump and run just the pump, and it would pump the oil out of the sump back up into the saw. So it's kind of flexible that way because you can use it just as a holding cleaning tank. And in that case, you want to be cleaning the oil before it starts getting to that jello-like consistency that won't pump. You want to, when you start seeing it's getting a little bit of that heavier color in it, that's when you want to actually look at taking that pump, putting it in your unit, or dump your oil into the tank, clean it, and you'll see it getting cleaner. Matter of fact, you need to, like if you dump a pretty dirty saw, let's say you dump a tank out of a 14-inch saw in here, chances are you start this EverClean, you run it for about 30 or 40 minutes, and that can is going to be full. So you'd clean it, and then you'd run it some more, and when you see the can starting to, not pick up much, and your oil in the sump is pretty good, then you've taken most of the mud out. Other thing is that when you got the oil, in the tank, I just take a couple pieces of hard dowel, and I can make a tea scraper that allows me just to agitate the bottom while I'm cleaning it. Now, I do put a piece of window screen over the end of my pump so my pumps don't pick up a chip and get hung up. But by agitating it a little bit, it really picks that super fine silt up out of it, and it does. I mean, you can look at the back of this unit, you can look at the oil in here. We've been running this for months, and on a drill we can make so much mud. In one day, if we're running this thing heavy, this whole tank is nothing but sludge. But with the EverClean, we just keep running the oil.
This would be sludge that's coming out, and
yeah, this is what we're scraping out of the can, which is kind of like a hard cake.
All right. So here's the EverClean. We've just got it running. We just turned the pump on. That one pump in the corner is pumping up to it, and you'll see the flow coming out of the unit right here. It's a pretty steady flow. As John said earlier, your dirty oil is going up to the top of the centrifuge. Inside the centrifuge, he referenced a can. It's basically a small can that you can pull out, scrape out, and then drop back into that center section that we showed you earlier on the video. So it's pretty simple. The Freestanding EverClean also has casters, so you can roll it around in your shop, and it comes with a caster kit in it.